Elder, and on a new episode of Texas Eats, things are getting wild. This week on Texas Eats, I'm taking you on a Texas-style African safari.
It's definitely a balancing game here. Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna need a napkin, but let me tell you, this is worth it. If you are cold, drink this. You'll warm up instantly. You guys have like captured all the essence of Italian food, put it on a sandwich. That's a showstopper plate right there. That's the good stuff, y'all. What do rhinos eat?
They eat a lot.
We're taking an excursion around San Antonio to check out restaurants serving up some wild eats. And make sure to get the secret word to enter for your chance to win a family 4-pack of season tickets to the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch. Our first stop on today's journey takes us to Garden Ridge, Texas, to the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch. Now we're inside the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch, and joining us today is Tiffany Sechting. She knows everything about the marketing, about the animals out here, and you have a lot of animals at this ranch.
We do. We have over 40 species from every continent except Antarctica, and currently we care for over 700 animals. And a lot of those are endangered or threatened species.
And that's incredible to have a place for like a refuge. This isn't a small place, y'all. Like, how big is this?
We cover over 450 acres.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
that's a lot of space.
It's a lot of space. And you know, and we bless ourselves that we give them the ability to roam freely. There are a few species that are in containment, just because that's just how they, we have to manage them and care for them. But the majority of the species are roaming freely.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And how long does a drive-through take when people come in?
The drive-through generally takes an hour, hour and a half to go through once. And the way we're set up is once a visitor comes in, their tickets are good for the rest of the day. So
wow.
they can come at 9 o'clock, and I always say drive through until you get dizzy or we get ready to go home, whatever comes first. And so they can drive through as many times as they want while they're here.
That's a great deal.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Because then not only can you do that, but if you guys have different little things where people can walk around and check out while they're here as well. And lots of little animals that are over here, little
yes.
cute animals like you can see inside the kids love it.
Yeah.
Kids love it. But I mean, just to be able to drive through continuously, because every time you drive through is a different experience.
It's a different, we always say we're a moving picture. Every time it's different, the animals have the freedom to do what they want, when they want. So every single time, we have so many season pass holders. And, and some of them, come once a week. So.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's nice and early in the morning right now. Got to start feeding the animals. Who's the first animals we're going to feed?
I think we better feed the lemurs first.
Let's do it.
Okay, let's go.
Right behind us is Lemur Island, but Tiffany, what do lemurs eat?
They eat a variety of fruits and vegetables, and then they also have a commercial diet called the lemur biscuit.
And you have a bowl of food with you right there, and it looks like a salad that you're about to eat.
It's not for me, but I literally could eat it. All of it comes from Cisco, where all the restaurant supplies come from. So it's legit.
Now, grade.
Yeah, these aren't croutons. Literally, we call them lemur biscuit. It's a primate diet.
I love it. I love that it's like, dog food, lemur biscuits. Every animal has its own. Why aren't there human biscuits? You know what I mean?
So they get a mixture, fruit, vegetable. There's some apples. There's some organic carrots. There is sweet potatoes, spinach. Just a mixture of, bananas, whatever we have at the time. We kind of mix it up just so they have a little bit of a different variety for their, enrichment program.
You see the colorful different foods in there. That's all the different vitamins. That's great for them. And they actually stay on this little island over here, right?
They do. They have their little mini Madagascar because all lemurs are native to a huge island off the coast of Africa, Madagascar. So they have their little mini Madagascar.
And why don't they leave the island? Why do they stay there?
They don't like water. They will not cross the water, so they have that water moat around them. There's steps that the rangers just walk right across that take them right over there.
There you go. And they're about to get fed right now.
Yes, it's morning time, so they get their morning feeding.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Lemurs are all the way from Madagascar, but you could see them here at the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch. Something else that you could find close to home that's from somewhere else? Chicago food. That's at Wise Guys Chicago Eatery.
Coming up right now, if you're in a Chicago kind of mood, then we've got the perfect place for you in San Antonio.
Right now, we're off West Avenue here in San Antonio, and we're gonna go inside a Chicago eatery called Wise Guys. Joining me right now is the owner, Terry Bratton, out here at Wise Guys. Delicious food right in front of us. Now talk to me, what is going on? I mean, right in front of you, that sandwich looks amazing.
So this is pretty much what we're known for, is the Italian beef. It's a thin sliced roast beef, and it's topped with giardiniera, which are jalapenos, serranos, vegetables, and olive oil. And then you dip it. You remember the old, you hear of French dip sandwiches, it's kind of that idea.
You gotta dip it.
I gotta dip it.
Now, you have a chart on the wall that explains how you have to order this thing, right? Because you can get it wet, you can get it juicy, you can get it spicy, you can do all different kinds of things with it, right?
Lots of flavor with this sandwich.
All right, I gotta give it a try here.
Okay.
And this is like a classic Chicago sandwich, right?
It is.
My goodness. How many of these do you think you sell in a week? Oh,
goodness. That's a great question. Today is the special, so we'll probably sell about...
Oh, this one's already wet. I'm so full.
200-300 today.
We're getting crazy with it. There we go.
Yeah.
I'll take a bite.
It's a mess. So while you're biting that, over here we have a rail, and that is a beef rail over there, so you can put your elbows, because this gets so messy. See the rail over there? And you can, yeah.
That is really good. It's so spicy. It's messy. I'm gonna need a napkin, but let me tell you, this is worth it. So much flavor. And the spice is there, but it's not overwhelming. Great crunch on the bread. The meat has a lot of really good notes to it as well. Very tender. It's very thin cut on there, and a great crunch on the veggies.
Yeah.
That is super delicious.
That's Toronto bread we bring in. So
it's Toronto. That's for you, Michael. The Italian beef out here at Wise Guys is absolutely phenomenal. It's on that bread shipped in from Toronto. It's nice and crunchy on the outside, tender on the inside. The meat shaved real nice and thin. That giardiniera has a good spice to it. This is where it's at, y'all. A little piece of Chicago here in San Antonio. Talk to me what's going on with this one. This looks even bigger, even wilder than the first one.
So it's Italian beef, which is a thin sliced roast beef with the mild Italian sausage on the bottom. Giardiniera topped with cheese.
I was gonna say, you got a lot of cheese on top.
It's a lot going on.
What kind of cheese is that?
So it's a type of mozzarella, but it's a little bit different. And it's got a little more flavor than what you're gonna find in a grocery store.
Look at this.
It's got a little more butter in it.
It's got, look at this. This is like a sandwich boat that just needs to be eaten right now.
Probably weighs about what?
Oh, that's easily like a pound and a half.
Easy.
Easy. And look, it's already wet. Here we go. I'm gonna give it a bite. That's special.
It is a great sandwich.
The sausage in the middle.
Yeah.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It adds a whole other depth to the sandwich. The cheese on top, it's melty, it's delicious, it's hot, and it's juicy and pulling apart. You might have to get a fork and knife.
You've been reading the sign.
Right. I know a few little key adjectives here. This is really good. Once again, the spice level is there, but it's not overwhelming. This is amazing. I've never been to Chicago, but right now I feel like I'm there just through eating this. This is really, really good. I'm taking another bite.
All the ingredients brought from Chicago, except for the cheese.
Amazing. I would need some help to finish that. It is huge, y'all. It is so good. Now, you have something for the healthier side, right? This is like if you're going for the salad, you want to be more like some of the, the wild animals that aren't necessarily consuming meat. They're eating salads and greens. But then you have this beautiful piece of artwork here in the front. Talk to me what's going on.
So we do a nice hand-tossed pizza here, and this is an Italian beef one. We're staying with the Italian beef theme here. And so it's a hand-tossed with Italian beef, giardiniera, and cheese. It's very simple, but tons of flavor again.
Okay. Here, join me on this one. Get a little piece of it with me.
All right.
Oh, look at that.
And it's cut in squares, you'll notice.
Oh, man.
That's what we do in Chicago. You cut your pizza in squares.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, good. Messy.
How am I managing to make a mess out of everything? This is so good.
Isn't it crazy? Yeah. It's just very different.
I've had a lot of pizza in my day, but I've never had Italian beef pizza. It's so good. You can see when you pull it up, the mozzarella cheese is just pulling on there. Plus, you got a nice crunch on the dough itself, and then you have all the giardiniera, the Italian beef that's on there. I've never had anything like it, and I'm definitely gonna have to come back to get more.
And all this, just so you know, that's why the salad's here. Anything we make can be put on top of a salad. So you can do away with the bread. So you still get all those flavors without the bread.
What a great option.
Yeah.
And now, speaking of options, not just the things that are in front of us, that menu is massive. And you have family orders going on right now, right?
A lot right now, yeah.
And one of them is the spaghetti with meatballs.
Spaghetti with meatballs.
But you said the Italian beef family combos are like doing really well.
Right, so we give them 3 pounds of Italian beef, giardiniera, the bread, Toronto bread, all the makings, the cheese, everything.
And you just take it home and you make the sandwich.
Make your own sandwich.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Thank
you
you,
so much.
Dad.
Give me some foot.
All right.
There we go. Love it. I'm gonna keep eating.
This Chicago food was absolutely delicious. And coming up, we got even more delicious food and some wild fun.
Later in the show,
And now if you know any fancy tricks with dough, I say go for it, have some fun. I'm not as adventurous when it comes to dough.
coming up next on Texas Eats,
That's a showstopper plate right there. Oh man, give
Yeah.
me some foot, give me some foot. Oh, that's the good stuff, y'all.
now it's time for this week's wild secret word giveaway. The first letter is the letter G. Write down all of the letters and at the end of the show, enter them on ksat.com/Texas Eats for your chance to win a family 4-pack of season tickets to the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch. Now it's time for Texas Eats Wild Trivia. What is a group of hedgehogs called? We'll have the answer for you after the break. A group of hedgehogs is called a prickle. How appropriate. Ouch. Now back to Texas Eats.
Welcome back to Texas Eats. We're here at the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch, and Tiffany Sechting has her hands full. Tiffany, what do you got going on right now?
It's definitely a balancing game here. Yeah, for sure. You know, we don't have bottle babies very often, but when we do, you know, having over 700 animals, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
It's just going to happen, and they get really, really spoiled when it does.
And now, who do you have here with us?
This is Nugget. Nugget is a nilgai, an antelope from India. She's got milk everywhere, everywhere. And those stay-at-home moms that are, everybody's at stay-at-home orders and moms and juggling. This is what,
This is what it's like.
Juggling looks like if you have a bunch of animals. Yeah. Goat milk, we have figured out, is the best universal milk replacer. Yeah.
Goats. Who would have thought it?
Who would have thought goats would save the world? At least save these guys.
Right, yeah. I love it. We're gonna let them get to it because they look like they're starving and you're busy. You know, we got a lot more to do, but we have a lot of other animals to look at out here at the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch. We're looking at animals from all across the world today, but now we're gonna head on over to an authentic Mexican restaurant in Southtown.
Our next restaurant features recipes straight from the heart of Yucatan, Mexico, right here in Southtown.
Now we're here in Southtown in San Antonio at Tito's Mexican Restaurant, and look at this delicious dish. To tell us what it is, Mark Rodriguez, the owner out here at the restaurant. How's it going, sir?
Good, good. How you doing?
Doing great. So what am I looking at right here?
It's my relleno de camarón and chile chipotle.
I love stuffed peppers just like this. You could stuff them with anything, but you have done it with shrimp. Talk to me a little bit about the ingredients that are in here.
So we've got squash, we've got carrots, we've got the shrimp as well. But the main thing is what makes it so delicious is the cream sauce. It's a chipotle cream sauce that we make ourselves. Got an old recipe, made it good, and we put it on a flatbed of white rice and cilantro.
Now, how long have y'all been open out here?
I've been here 16 years. It'll be 17 years in June.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what are some things that people come out here for that you're most well known for?
My cream enchiladas.
Oh.
We make these cilantro cream enchiladas, poblano cream enchiladas, another chipotle cream enchilada. That just really put us on the map. It's one of those things that...
Trying to get like a little bit of everything in the bite.
Yeah.
But that's what put you on the map. That's what made you famous.
Yeah, I also do a very good fajita and the street tacos. You know, we go from too good, right?
That's a showstopper plate right there. Oh man, give me
Yeah.
some foot. Give me some foot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the good stuff, y'all. It's got a little spice to it.
That's the chipotle.
Yeah.
That's the chipotle.
And then, but the flavors are so bold and they all marry so well together. It's not fishy. The shrimp is cooked perfectly, has a nice tender bite to it. All the veggies in there still have a little bit of crispness on the outside, but it's still tender on the inside. I didn't say Christmas, I said crispness. Mark, this is a fantastic dish. And the more bites I take, I can tell this is not Tex-Mex. Where is this from?
Well, we were traveling, my family and I, in the Cancun area, in the Riviera Maya. Went to a restaurant, saw it on the menu, tasted it, it was just crazy good. So the one thing that I did was I talked with the waiter. Next thing you know, he says, let me get the chef. The chef comes out and he says, if you can cook this for me, I'll give you the recipe.
That's
So
that's like a skills test.
Well, he was testing me.
Oh my
He
gosh,
was
that's so
testing
cool.
me. So we went to the back, you know, threw the ingredients together. Next thing you know, he wrote it all down for me on a piece of paper. He says, take it to San Antonio. So,
That's an incredible story. Did you have to arm wrestle him too for it a little bit?
yeah,
No?
Did take a tequila shot.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for bringing this all the way up here to San Antonio.
Oh no, I mean, everybody's loving it right at this point.
Yeah, this is delicious, y'all. The rice is a really good vehicle for all of these flavors. You guys know what you're doing out here.
We try to keep it fresh, and I think the neighborhood likes that, and then I think that's what, you know, is why this has become a big time seller right at this point.
I mean, and the cheese,
Oh yeah.
that is
Just a little
killer.
right on top, not too much to overpower the flavors.
But if people want to order your food, how do they get more information to do that?
Well, we have our website right now, titosrestaurant.com, so you can do online ordering right now is what's happening. But that's the best way to get our full menu for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We are here for breakfast as well.
You got breakfast?
Yeah, we're here all day.
What are you serving up for breakfast?
Our chilaquiles is probably one of those things that has put us, you know, in a different area, because we make the Mexican style chilaquiles, and we also have the Tex-Mex as well. But it's those chilaquiles rojos and those verdes that have really made a difference in the breakfast sales whatsoever.
Mark, thank you so much for having me stop in here. The food is delicious. You guys, Tito's Mexican Restaurant here on the south side. This is in Southtown, here in San Antonio. More wild food, more wild animals coming up right after this. I gotta take this to go. I'm gonna take the whole thing. I'll give the plate. I'll mail it to you, okay?
Gotcha.
This is great.
Later in the show,
If you are cold, drink this. You will warm up instantly.
coming up next on Texas Eats.
And now, if you know any fancy tricks with dough, I say go for it. Have some fun. I'm not as adventurous when it comes to dough, but I do know to get a good dough ball.
Now it's time for this week's wild secret word giveaway. The second letter is the letter I. Write down all of the letters and at the end of the show, enter them on ksat.com/Texas Eats for your chance to win a family 4-pack of season tickets to the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch. Now it's time for Texas Eats Wild Trivia. What is the slowest animal on the planet? We'll have the answer for you after the break. The slowest animal on the planet is the three-toed sloth. The top speed of a sloth is 0.003 miles per hour. Now back to Texas Eats.
Now we're heading to my backyard to grill up something you normally don't grill on the grill. Right now we're in my backyard and we're gonna be grilling up, get this, pizza. The first thing you need to do is get a really solid pizza dough. Now there are recipes all over online that you can get to make it at home. I like to do it the quick way, which is go to your local pizza shop. Now, something like this little dough size makes about a 12 to 14 inch pizza, which is perfect for what we're doing today. You want to get a little bit of flour onto a pizza paddle. You can have a metal one. I have a little wooden one here. Just a little bit of flour. Now, spread it around. You don't want this to get stuck to the paddle here. This is just all-purpose flour. And now, if you know any fancy tricks with dough, I say go for it. Have some fun. I'm not as adventurous when it comes to dough. To get a good dough ball, you fold it into itself and then just bring it in. This will help waken it back up if it was in the refrigerator. Once you have your ball of dough, you start kneading it, pressing it out, turning it over. The goal is to stretch it out to the size of your paddle. Today we're gonna be making a margarita pizza. It's a very traditional pizza. Uses simple ingredients, a little bit of basil, tomatoes, a little bit of marinara sauce, and then we have some basil pesto as well. Once you've kneaded your dough ball a little bit, you got it to a really cute size right here. Put it right in the middle of your pizza paddle. Now, this is a cool hack. If you don't have a rolling pin, you got a bottle of wine at home, same thing. Here we go. You just want to start from the middle and roll out like that. And then flip it the other way, same thing. From the middle, and then roll out. If it starts getting a little bit sticky, what you got flour for, and then your goal is to stretch this dough out all the way to the edge of your pizza paddle. So you want to keep going. All right, one tip I have for you doing this whole thing, don't be afraid of flour. Flour is your best friend in this situation. The dough from the pizza is sticky, so you're gonna want to use a lot of flour to help make sure it doesn't get stuck on that pizza paddle. You want it to slide off and go right onto the grill. All right, so once you have your dough rolled out, the test to make sure you have a really good foundation, get the sides of it. You just want to give it a little twist. If you can twist it, it means it's not stuck anywhere, and you're good to move on to the second phase. We're gonna get a little bit of the sauce that came with the pizza pack. You can use this sauce. I also have an example here. This is just a regular old bottled sauce that you can find at your grocery store. I'm gonna trust the source though. This is the sauce that comes with it. Now, you don't want to use too much sauce. You want to be able to kind of see through the amount of sauce that you put down. So kind of put it in the middle. You're gonna use a spoon, circular motion, and you just want to kind of go out. Now you want to leave it, of course, there's always the crust, right? So don't go too far out, but make sure you're going right enough to the edge. You're gonna have a really good base. But see how you can see through the sauce? That's how you know it's a good amount of sauce, not too much. For this pizza, I'm gonna put a little bit of basil pesto on here as well. And for the basil pesto, I'm just gonna kind of glob it on. Now, if you're in your backyard and you wanna, tell people, hey, yeah, we're probably gonna be grilling up some steaks, a pizza, they're gonna be like, what? And then you show them and it's fun. This is mozzarella cheese, shredded. Typically, I would say with this amount of pizza, you wanna use about a cup to 2 cups of cheese. You don't really wanna use that much. Even when people are like, I love a lot of cheese, it's okay. Cheese, the mozzarella goes far. So you don't wanna use too much. Spread it out. I have a beef tomato right here. You want to cut really thin slices, so right there. So nice thin slices. This right here is a Texas brand of olive oil. They have all different kinds of infused flavors. This one right here is roasted garlic. Come on, that says pizza. Get a little bit. Don't want to put too much. Just enough to get it going. There you go. Your grill's at 500 degrees, between 450 and 500. Open it up, and then go ahead and put your pizza right onto the pizza stone, just like that. Go ahead and give it a close. This can take about 10 to 12 minutes to cook all the way through, about 15 depending on how you like yours, a little bit crunchier, like a little more tender to it. But just keep an eye on it and make sure the heat goes back up to 450, and you got yourself a tasty pizza.
Later in the show,
so many great flavors on here. It tastes like an antipasta salad, right? This tastes so Italian. You guys have like captured all the essence of Italian food, put it on a sandwich.
Yep.
coming up next on Texas Eats.
Ooh, that looks fantastic. It smells just as good as it looks.
Now it's time for this week's wild secret word giveaway. The third letter is the letter R. Write down all of the letters, and at the end of the show, enter them on ksat.com/Texas Eats for your chance to win a family 4-pack of season tickets to the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch. Now it's time for Texas Eats Wild Trivia. What is the smallest mammal in the world? We'll have the answer for you after the break. The smallest mammal in the world is the bumblebee bat, measuring in at only 1 inch long. Now back to Texas Eats.
Oh my goodness. Ooh, that looks fantastic. It smells just as good as it looks. That looks amazing. I'm impressed with myself right now. This looks really good. So you want to pull some basil leaves off of your plant that you got here, or of course you can purchase them already sliced. Just get them together, give it a rough little chop. There we go. Put them into strips, sprinkle it on top. And if you feel like it, you can use some of this olive oil that you have and just give it a little bit of love on top, just like that. Just a little bit of drip drip. Backyard grilling, making pizzas. Hey, you can open up your own business doing this. All right, once your pizza is done resting, you wanna get a pizza cutter. I got this one. They come in all different shapes and sizes, and just give it a good chop. You wanna hear a nice crunch on there? Oh, oh man, this is so cool. Now you could be that person that just cuts it into quarters, if that's how you roll, but I'm gonna cut this one here into eighths. And then one more time, flip it around. There we go. To get this recipe, head to our website, ksat.com/Texas Eats. I surprised even myself with this pizza. Came out perfect. It's so good. Has a nice crunch to it. The cheese melted perfectly. That 450 to 500 is your sweet spot right there on the grill. And with that pizza stone, limitless. Make a calzone in there. Go crazy. You can do things with your grill you never thought you'd really be doing. Just make some pizza out here. It's worth it. Really good. We're here at the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch. We're on the tour here. We're on the safari trail. Tiffany, you have right behind us, this is an endangered species, right?
It is, it is. The bongo antelope, both the males and females both have horns, and they have that striping pattern because they actually live in the very dense jungles in Africa, and that kind of gives them camouflage.
And right now it is feeding time. So you can see they're circled around. They got some grub going on, but how much food do all these animals here on the compound, how much do they consume annually? Between hay and grain, we feed over 2 million pounds annually. And speaking of endangered animals, it's not just these animals that are right here behind us. You have a lot of different endangered animals here on the reservation, but you also have giraffes, and those are endangered as well. We do, we do. And most people don't think about giraffes being endangered, but you hear rhinos and you hear elephants. There are actually 2.5 times as many elephants in Africa than there are giraffes. Wow. And that's this program here that you're doing, it's helping bring awareness, but it's also, you have a large giraffe population here. Yes, we are very, very blessed that we have the land that we can give them a huge area. You guys, it is wild out here. I love it.
Later in the show.
That's incredible. These are little tanks.
Little tanks, yeah.
Like, well, not really little,
well,
but they're
big
tanks.
Yeah.
Coming up next on Texas Eats.
So many great flavors on here. It tastes like an antipasta salad, right? This tastes so Italian. You guys have like captured all the essence of Italian food, put it on a sandwich.
Yep.
Now it's time for this week's Wild Secret Word Giveaway. The fourth letter is the letter A. Write down all of the letters, and at the end of the show, enter them on ksat.com/Texas Eats for your chance to win a family 4-pack of season tickets to the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch. Now it's time for Texas Eats Wild Trivia. How many egg-laying mammals are still alive today? We'll have the answer for you after the break. There are currently 2 different mammals alive today that lay eggs, the duck-billed platypus and the spiny anteater. Strange. Now back to Texas Eats.
While things are staying wild out here at the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch, we're gonna head on over to an iconic Italian restaurant that's been around for almost 42 years. This is Papa Dante's.
Looking for some authentic Italian bites with some serious Hollywood memorabilia? Then Converse, Texas is where you need to go.
Joining me right now is Jenny Besford. She is the operations manager and daughter out here at Papa Dante's restaurant, and you have a huge spread of delicious food right in front of us. But I gotta know, what is this sandwich right here?
This is our Italian War Hero sub. We are very well known for it. We have double meat, salami, pepperoni, mozzarella, provolone, lettuce, tomato, onion, and a great homemade Italian dressing to top it off.
And the bread looks absolutely amazing as well. It's got like the little sesame on the outside.
Sure does.
All right, I got to give this a bite now. How much does this like weigh? What do you think? This has to be like.
I don't know, but it's definitely, yeah, you sit it down and it's hard for somebody to fit it in their mouth.
This is at least a pound of food right here. Okay, I'm gonna give it a bite. Look at this. That's a monster sandwich.
Good.
Give me a moment. So many great flavors on here. It tastes like an antipasto salad, right? This tastes so Italian. You guys have like captured all the essence of Italian food, put it on a sandwich.
Yep.
The huge sandwich out here, the Italian War Hero, is incredible. It's an homage to the uncle that's here that helped open up the restaurant, but it's also a delicious, massive sandwich. It's like all the flavors of Italy crammed into one thing between two pieces of bread. Amazing.
Now, the smell that's taking over the table right here is this pizza. Talk to me, what's going on here?
This is our new home-style crust. It's a nice, thick body crust. We do a homemade pizza sauce, fresh toppings, and we do a homemade garlic butter on the crust as well.
Oh yeah, that looks amazing. Want to grab a bite with me here? You've got
Of course, sure.
little pizza action.
All right.
I would normally cheers you, but here, we're just gonna go for it.
All right.
Oh, yeah. That's the good stuff right
That's
there.
good stuff.
The pizza out here is light. It has a little crunch on the bottom, but it tastes so good. Nice and melty cheese, and on all the toppings that they have out here, you can go to town on it.
Talk to me what's going on here.
So we've got our chicken fettuccine Alfredo there. We've got a bed of fettuccine noodles, creamy Alfredo sauce with, we have fresh chicken that we grill and slice and put it right on top.
That looks incredible. It looks like a piece of artwork. You could take a picture of that and put it on, well, if you could find a space on the wall, you could put it on the wall somewhere. Now, you also have meatballs over here, a spaghetti. That looks just like a classic Italian dish right there. Garlic bread to the next level with cheese on it.
If you want a really good meatball, like a good meatball, you come out here. The texture on them is so tender, it just falls apart, but it's nice and has a little crust on the outside of it. And the gravy, right, that sauce that's on there, the marinara, put that in a jar. I'm taking it home and putting it on everything. Outstanding.
Talk to me. If people want to come out here, they want to have a great time, bring out some friends and some family, maybe enjoy Christmas, big celebrations like that. Do y'all have a space for that as well?
We do, and we actually just opened up a venue right on our property that we do cater from the restaurant. It's called Bella on the Vine. It has an indoor space for banquet hall, outdoor courtyard, tavern space, so we have endless options for people.
So much history here in Texas, going on 42 years, great people, delicious food, and a fun place to come and enjoy with the family. I'm gonna take a bite of this tiramisu. Papa Dante's is where it's at, y'all. And can you order online?
You sure can. We deliver through Grubhub, and you can, actually beginning shortly, you'll be able to order straight through our website.
Get the tiramisu. This is incredible. Give me some foot.
And that's actually my favorite dessert. So.
Oh my gosh. I understand why. I'm gonna need all this boxed up to go. Is that okay?
Of course. I got you covered.
Coming up next on Texas Eats.
That's incredible. These are little tanks.
Little tanks. Yeah.
Like, well, not really little,
Well,
but they're
big
tanks.
Yeah.
Now it's time for this week's wild secret word giveaway. The fifth letter is the letter F. Write down all of the letters, and at the end of the show, enter them on ksat.com/Texas Eats for your chance to win a family 4-pack of season tickets to the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch. Now it's time for Texas Eats Wild Trivia. What is a rhino's horn made out of? We'll have the answer for you after the break. A rhino's horn is made out of the protein keratin, the same type of protein that makes hair and fingernails. Now back to Texas Eats.
Welcome back to Texas Eats. We're here at the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch. Right behind us are two of the most beautiful animals I've ever got to come up close to. Tiffany, you're here with us as well, and you're going to be joining us to talk about these animals right here. What do they eat? What do rhinos eat?
They eat a lot, but they mainly eat coastal hay. They're not ruminants that eat a whole bunch and then ferment it. They're more like a horse. They're closer related to a horse than they are a giraffe.
Wow.
Because of their foot structure, their digestive structure. So they eat that coastal hay that helps in their digestion, and then they eat a commercial diet that's a herbivore diet that's made specifically for large herbivores.
Isn't it crazy? This is an herbivore eating only like greens and things, but massive and powerful. Massive. And you just explained that muscle on the top. I mean, how much does their head weigh?
So this is just muscle, and that muscle just helps like as a lever, because their head with their horn weight, their skull weight, they can weigh up to 500 pounds.
Wow.
Because a rhino weighs about 4,000 pounds.
That's incredible. These are little tanks.
Little tanks, yeah.
Like, well, not really little, but they're tanks.
Yeah. They're tanks, they are. There's 5 species of rhino, 2 of which are from Africa, the white rhino and the black rhino. Black rhinos are a lot more aggressive. White rhinos,
these are like large, these are like large puppy dogs.
Love attention.
Oh, they're so
love
sweet.
Attention.
This is wild. I've never been this close to any animal that has really wowed me like this ever before my whole life. This is such a cool thing to do, and you get to do this when you drive through the ranch. You get to see them when you drive by.
You drive right by their enclosure.
That is incredible.
A lot of time, you know, especially in the summer or the warmer months, you can see all the mud on them. You know, they have very little sweat glands, so the mud helps them cool themselves. So you'll see them, their mud hole is just right by the road. Right by the road.
You can see it, it's right behind us.
Right behind the road.
Now, I don't want to mess with them too much right now because it's time to eat, right? And they have all their food right here. And just real quick, weight-wise, like that is at least a 50-pound bag of food, right?
Yes, it's a 50-pound bag of food, and then the hay bale, 40, 50 pounds, and that's daily.
That's daily.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a lot of food.
That's a lot of food. That's a lot of food.
That's a lot of food, y'all. Tiffany, thank you so much for showing off these gorgeous creatures. Of course, they're endangered. The awareness of just seeing these animals up close and you can look like this. They're so powerful, and to see them is powerful because you want to save them. You want them to be here for future generations. To
have an appreciation for something, you have to have a memory. You have to have a bond, something besides what you just see in a book. And so we always say, for our school kids, we're bringing textbooks to life, and we're helping families create memories.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Coming up next on Texas Eats.
For your chance to win a family 4-pack season pass to the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch, head to our website, ksat.com/TexasEats.
Now it's time for this week's Wild Secret Word Giveaway. The 6th letter is the letter F. Write down all of the letters, and at the end of the show, enter them on ksat.com/TexasEats for your chance to win a family 4-pack of season tickets to the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch. Now it's time for Texas Eats Wild Trivia. What is a group of giraffes called? We'll have the answer for you after the break.